Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Ashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for the today's Bhakti Vedanta class. So we'll be continuing our discussions from 11th canto 14th chapter till 17th sloka we have done. So further we are going to continue. So 11th canto 14th chapter. So 18th sloka onwards we'll be seeing. So we'll try to finish this chapter today. So we are seeing the glories of the Bhakti. Yes. So how this chapter is began. So here we are seeing the asking. That means Uddhava is asking. So question. What is that question? There are the different sadhanas are there, like Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, and so and so. Among all these yogas, so he's asking, all these yogas are main or any one is main one? So explain. If everyone is main, then which is having the highest result? Which is giving the highest result? Tell me that. Or otherwise, if one is main and other are sub, then which is main and who are else the sub? That means Anga. One is Angi and remaining are Anga. Then tell me, so who is the Angi and who are the, so limbs, that means Angas of that. So like that he was asking question. Then Krishna was explaining. So I already explained this yoga, the Bhakti yoga, the ultimate yoga system. So but the point is, so by the time, due course of the time, everything is broken. Initially I explained this knowledge to the Brahmaji, and from Brahmaji to the, so different, that means his children Manu, from the Manu to Bhrigu, like this, various sages. So I like that it was spreaded into the various branches, and there are the innumerable living entities appeared from the Brahmaji in the branches and sub branches, and due course of the time, this knowledge is, that means the absolute knowledge which is given by the Lord, is what happened. So it was discontinued. And what happened in between, some people, even they didn't hear from the authentic source, but they started themselves propagating their own knowledge, and they started become their, that means they themselves became guru without becoming the authentic disciple. So like this, there are so many opinions so spreaded all over the world. So many people and many opinions. So then the results of all these other sadhanas than the bhakti are simply what? They are very cheap pleasure. So it's like a meek pleasure, cheap pleasure, flickering pleasure is coming. But what about the bhakti? So Krishna is saying that the pleasure derived from the bhakti is unparalleled. That means nobody can, so no other sadhana can give such a pleasure. So like that, so he glorified. Even the persons who are doing the bhakti, they are not desiring to get the position of the Brahmaji or the position of the Indra also. Such a exalted positions also they don't want to so get. So that is the glory of the bhakti. So the bhakti pleasure, and also the bhakti is also respected such a way. So whoever is doing the bhakti, So he is going to purify the, that means Lord, what he is doing? He is using the dust of the, from the lotus feet of the devotees to purify the entire universe, all the planets. So Lord is using the dust from the devotees. That means such a heavy respect will be given to the devotees. So like this, we have seen the different glories of the bhakti. So then after that, further, we have to continue. So 17 is over, na? 18 sloka. Okay, chalo. बाध्यमानोऽपि मद्भक्तो विषयैरजितेन्द्रियः प्रायः प्रगल्भ्य भक्त्या विषयेनाभिभूयते.
My dear Uddhava, if my devotee has not fully conquered his senses, he may be harassed by material desires, but because of his unflinching devotion for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification.
Yeah. Radharani Mataji, you are celebrating Ugadi? I think.
Pranam.
Ah,
I will
Mataji.
be there within 5 minutes, Prabhuji. Now in the kitchen.
Acha, acha. Ugadi celebrate చేస్తున్నారు Mataji.
Avunu Prabhuji. Happy Ugadi to all the devotees.
అచ్చా, ఓకే. రామకృష్ణ ప్రభు, మీరు చేయట్లేదా?
మీతో ఉంటున్నాను ప్రభుజీ. దిస్ ఇస్ ద బెస్ట్ సెలబ్రేషన్.
అచ్చా, అచ్చా. అక్కడ చేయలే ప్రభు మీరు?
ఉగాదిని స్పెషల్ గా చేయట్లేదు ప్రభుజీ.
ఆహా, అచ్చా.
సో జస్ట్ ఇంట్లో ఉంటుంది అంతే, చిన్న ఫెస్టివల్.
ఓకే, వాట్ ఇస్ దట్? బాధ్యమానోపి మద్భక్తః విషయైః అజితేంద్రియః ప్రాయః ప్రగల్భ్య భక్త్యా విషయైః న అభిభూయతే. సో హియర్, సో వాట్ ఇస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్? బాధ్యమానోపి మద్భక్తః విషయైః ajitendriya. That means my devotee is being harassed by the senses. That means he is conquered. If my devotee hasn't fully conquered his senses, he may be harassed by material desires. But because of his unflinching devotion for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification. So that means on devotees also, this material desires, they हावी हो जाता है, माने they will be attacking. So sense desires, material desires are attacking devotees also. But are they conquered by those desires? No. Because of what? Pragalbhaya bhaktya. What is the meaning of pragalbhaya bhaktya? This is a very important word here in this. Pragalbhaya bhaktya. So that means devotees means who? Which devotees? Which devotees are not conquered by the material desires? Everyone who is wearing tilak and having the saffron dress. Can you say that these people are all, that means not at all conquered by the material desires? Is it like that? So what is that then? That means devotee means what? So which devotee is mentioned here? So here Srila Jiva Goswami is writing. So what is that? What kind of bhakti? प्रायेण अभिभूयते तद बाधायां श्री भगवती स्वदैन्य निवेदन स्पर्शात् यतः प्रगल्भया समर्थ प्रभवया भक्त्या शरणागत मात्रात्मिकया. What kind of bhakti? Sharanagata matratmikaya. That means bhakti which involves the complete surrenderance. So bhakti done with complete surrenderance. So those devotees are not conquered by the material desires. Not the who doesn't surrender, whoever is not surrendering completely. So those will be conquered by material desires. That means whose Shraddha is not completely, is not there in the Lord. Maybe you have 20% Shraddha, 30% or 40. So then in that case, so those will be conquered by the material desires. Conquered by material desires means those will be changing the lifestyle. They will become materialistic. So where we are in our chart, come to our chart. So this is Karmi. This is Karmarpanam. This is also Karmarpanam. What is that? Here association of Bhakta, and here association of Gnani. You should not forget this. This is transcendental diagram. It is always useful. Everything is here only. If you understand this, whole world is with you, whole universe. Here Shraddha. This is beginning, Shraddha. So now Krishna is telling whoever is doing bhakti, so he will not be conquered by the pragalbaya bhaktya. So he will not be conquered by the material desires. So that means in this, here also devotees are there, and here also devotees are there. Here karmarpanam. Here also devotees are there. Which devotees are not, about whom he is discussing? About him or about him? So which devotee? See the Jiva Goswami commentary and tell. Sharanagata atmikataya. Sharanagata matra atmikataya. Matra. Sharanagati only.
Yeah, Prabhu, the one who is already above the level of the Shraddha, one who has actually developed there.
Shraddha means here what?
The first
Sharanagati. Yes?
Yes.
Purna, that means full Shraddha means Sharanagati. That means Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Janaha Paryupasante Tesham Nityabhiktanam Yogakshema Vahami. He is taking the किसका ठेका ले रहा है वो? इधर से जो भी है, इधर का, that means from here, devotees whoever are coming, he is taking, the Krishna is taking responsibility of these people only. And not these people. He will be just complete responsibility, he will not take. Whoever doing the karma arpana or karma gnana mishra bhakti, whoever is doing, their responsibility he will not take. He will just give whatever they want by doing bhakti. Artho artharthi gnani jignas. So where you are? Tirumala. How do we know? Here this sloka is telling about the devotee here, because pragalbaya is translated as sharanagata matratmikaya. Okay, clear, Ramakrishna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We have to surrender fully.
Yes, Prabhuji. I will try.
Yeah. Huh? Oh. Huh? Yes. So okay, next sloka. We should raise your speed, because we have how many slokas? Till 46, na? 30 slokas. 30 slokas are there. Almost 30 slokas, okay. Pragalbhaya Bhakti indicates a person who has great devotion for the Lord, and not one who desires to commit sinful act. That means this kind of devotee, how he, even because he is having the Sharanagati, but Anartha Nivritti is happening here. Yes? Anartha Nivritti is happening here. And before Anartha Nivritti, so he will be getting material desires sometimes because of his prarabdha. Because of prarabdha he may get the material desires. Then how he will be so acting? That means prarabdha is not finished completely. Till anartha nivritti, prarabdha will be there. So because of that prarabdha, he will be getting the some kind of desires, material desires. Then, and at that time, how he will act? Even if he enjoy those material desires, so how he will be acting? Dukko darkanscha garhayan. Garhayan. That means he will be feeling guilty. That means if we get the material desire and if we even enjoy that, but he will be immediately feeling the dainyatmikata. That means at that time he will be feeling more so dinata. Dinata means he will feel himself as so meek, feeling himself as, because that means while doing that kind of sense gratification also he is getting the meekness, and with that dinata he is becoming more and more close to the Lord, and he will repent for that. You are here, but not sinful desires. That's material desires means Veda Vihita. Okay. So because everything is very simple, Prabhu. This chart, I just request all of Bhakti Vedantis to absorb in this chart, and everything will be easy. Okay, next. Yatagni susamruddharchihi karotyedamsi bhasmasat tata madvishaya bhaktir uddavainamsi krutsnasaha.
My dear Uddhava, just as a blazing fire turns fire to into ashes, similarly devotion unto me completely burns to ashes sins committed by my devotees.
Yes. Yatha agni susamruddharchihi. So karotedhamsi bhasmasat tatha madvishaya bhaktir uddavainamsi krutsnasaha. That we have seen in the Bhakti Sandarbha also this. That means a blazing fire, how it burns the fuel. The same way, bhakti burns all the sins. Here, susamidha, this adjective is used for the fire, but samruddha bhakti, that adjective, that kind of adjective is not used for the bhakti. So that means what? Little bhakti is also enough to destroy all the sins. Yes? Arayanai. Dal. Susamruddharchihi, susamruddha, samruddha. This word is used for the fire. Susamruddha Visheshana is used for the fire. That means blazing fire. Blazing fire is needed to destroy or to burn the fuel. Yes. So bhakti, in that bhakti, is there any Visheshana like that? Susamruddha bhakti, like that is there? Pragalva? No. That means little bhakti is also enough to burn all the sins. That kind of so understanding you should take. पता नहीं सिरू समझ में आ गया? Next. चले next. न साधयति मां योगो न सांख्यं धर्म उद्धव न स्वाध्यायस्तपस्त्यागो यथा भक्तिर्ममोर्जिता.
My dear Uddhava, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotees bring me under their control. I cannot be thus controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation.
Yes. What he is saying, yoga, Sankhya, and so and so, Swadhyaya, Tapaha, Tyagaha, all these, even if they are engaged in the service, they will not bring Krishna under control as the bhakti can do. So that means devotees can get the control on Lord. That means even Sankhya yoga, so tapa, swadhyaya, all these, if you use all of these in the service of the Lord, those will not bring Krishna under control as bhakti can do. So that's the point. Next, okay. So this is the point. That means other sadhanas, even if they are engaged in the service of the Lord, so those cannot so bring the Krishna into control the way bhakti can. Next, भक्त्याहमेकया ग्राह्यः श्रद्धयात्मः प्रियः सतां भक्तिः पुनाति मन्निष्ठा स्वपाकानपि संभवात्.
Only by practicing unalloyed devotional service with full faith in me can one obtain me, the Supreme Person of Godhead. I am naturally dear to my devotees who take me as the only goal of their loving service. By engaging in such pure devotional service, even the dog eaters can purify themselves from the contamination of their low birth.
Yeah, bhakti punnasti mannishta swapakan api. So purification. Once again, bhakti's glories are said here. So what is that? Shraddhaya bhaktya. That means Shraddha purvikaya kevalaya bhaktya tu ahameva grahya kramad vashikarya saeva mannishta mai daridyam gata sati. Bhaktya aham ekaya grahya Shraddhaya. So that means this telling about whom? Shraddha means what you should take here. Shraddhaya, with that Shraddha, one is doing the Eka Bhakti. Means this Shraddha is what Shraddha? Full Shraddha, Purna Shraddha. And that's why Purna Shraddha. And about whom it is telling? So the one who is have Purna Shraddha and doing the Kevala Bhakti. Ekaya Bhakti means Kevala Bhakti. So one who is doing the Kevala Bhakti, then so Krishna is going under control. That means so he is controlled by this kind of Kevala Bhakti. So here also in the Karmarpanam or otherwise in the Karma Mishra Bhakti also some kind of Shraddha is there. But this cannot, that's not the Ekaya Bhakti. That will not control a lot. Okay. So even the dog eaters also purified by this in such a pure devotional service. By engaging in such a pure devotional service, even a dog eaters can be themselves from the contamination of their low birth. Next, dharmam satyadayopeto vidya va tapasanvitah madbhaktyapetamatmanam na samyak prapunatihi. Okay, next.
Neither religious activity is endowed with honesty and mercy, nor knowledge obtained with great penances can completely purify one's consciousness if they are bereft of loving service to me.
If they are bereft of loving service to me. So he is telling in a reverse way. That means vidya gnanam tapasa chittaikagrena madbhaktya mat priti lakshane na samyak prapunati. Na samyak prapunati. Ukta parameshtya punarbhava paryanta. So sarva vasanatah na shodayati. So that means it is said simply, same way here how it is said, that same way it is also said. That means Sankhya and Yoga tapas which are engaged in the service of the Lord, those will not control the Lord the way bhakti controls. Here little bit differently said. That means any dharma, that means varnashrama dharma, satyaha, so tapaha, these are all so different karma and gnana activities. These, so and also if they are bereft of bhakti, that means they are bereft of bhakti, so those cannot purify. So bereft of bhakti, so dharma, satya and tapa which are bereft of bhakti cannot what? Purify? Cannot purify the heart. So that means Where these are dharma, satya, tapa are done by whom? This here. Karma is bereft of bhakti means here. Here and here, these two. That is doing the karmarpanam, and so those satya tapa will be followed by whom? By the jnanis here. That means who are in the association of the jnanis. And dharma is followed by the karmis and also here also karma mishra jnanis. So karma mishra jnanis and jnanis, karmis, karma mishra jnanis both. That means they don't do bhakti. That means this circle and this circle, they will not get purification because there is no bhakti. But this circle they have bhakti. Yes, they are doing along with karma and jnana bhakti also, bhakti pradhana. But what is the problem? That kind of karma jnana, that is this Sankhya Yoga Tapa. That means who are also doing with the bhakti. But along with bhakti, Sankhya and yoga, that means if you engage Sankhya Yoga in the service means you are doing all this with the bhakti, but they will not control the way bhakti alone controls, pure bhakti. So that means this sloka is telling about this and this, comparing of these two. Okay. Next. 23. Katam vina romaharsham dravata chetasa vina vinanandasrukalaya shuddhyed bhaktya vinashayah.
If one hairs don't stand on end, how can the heart melt? And if the heart doesn't melt, how can tears of love flow from the eyes? If one doesn't cry in spiritual happiness, how can one render loving service to the Lord? And without such service, how can the consciousness be purified?
So what he is saying here? So see, everything comes under this chart only. So इसका chart बनाने के बाद, after making this chart, so we will be teaching to the newcomers within 2 to 5 days. All Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything within one shot we'll teach. It's very simple. After learning this, everything will become very easy. Yes, yes, Tirula. Summary of all the books. It will take you to the up to the prema bhakti, from to the karmi to prema bhakti. So okay, now what is said here, that's my goal actually. पूरा दुनिया में भक्त बनाना है. So Romaharsha means hair standing on its end. Romaharsh. What is there? Romaharsh is there, and what else is there?
Faltering voice from Gadgada.
Anandashrukala. Anandashrukala. Anandashrukala is there. Next, Chitta Dravaha. So Chitta Dravaha means melting of heart. So Romaharsha, that means hair standing on the end is a what? Is an indicator, is a symbol, is a symptom of melting of heart. Yes or no? And Anandashrukala, that means getting tears. It is also symptom of Chittadravaha. So what is the difference? The difference is, so this is the lesser degree and this is more degree, less and more. Romharsha is the initial symptom. When the heart is little melted, Romharsha will happen. If it is melted even more, then it will be the more. So Vidya Gnanam Tapsa Chitraikagreena Madbhaktya. नहीं कहा है हाँ रोमहर्ष तावत् किंचित चेतो द्रवस्य चिह्नम आनंदाशुकला तु विशिष्टस्य तस्य चिह्नम चेतो द्रवस्तु. So bhakti है so antaranga so and this is less and more and chittadrava is why chittadrava, that means why heart is melting because of what? Why heart is melting? Because of bhakti. Whose heart is soft? Devotee's heart. Since they are doing devotion, that's why their heart is soft. Okay, now the point is, so here try to understand now the sloka. Tata tatoktam romaharshena anandashrukalaya cha vina katham taratamyena cheto dravya avagamyate. That means, how can you understand chittadrava without romaharsha and anandashruka? That anandashrukala, it's not possible. It means, that means what are the symptoms of so melting of heart? Romaharsham or otherwise chittadrava, but the less is romaharsha, more is anandashrukala. Okay, without these two, how can you say that heart is, that means khatam vina, that means without these two, how can you say so heart is melted? Yes, so that's why these are the symptoms. And next point is what? So avagamyate dravachetasa cha vina katam bhaktir bhavati. That means cheto dravaha avagamyate. That means without seeing these two, we cannot say that chitta dravaha happened. That means heart is melted. And without the bhakti, how can you say there is? Without chitta drava, how can you say there is bhakti? That means chitta drava means you can confirm that bhakti. So that's why without bhakti, how can? So next, bhaktim vina katham ashaya sudyate. So without bhakti, how heart can be purified? अरे दिमाग में चल रहा है या नहीं? Without these two, you cannot say. That means without romaharsha and anandashrukala, chittadrava cannot be guessed. So without chittadrava, you cannot say there is bhakti. So without bhakti, there is no purification of heart. Clear? Mataji? Kya clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Understand.
Yes, Prabhuji, the symptoms which has been very clearly explained over here
Yes.
are talking about the status of identification of whose heart has been melted, as being told by Lord Krishna, which says that unless these symptoms are manifested in the person, one cannot say that his heart is actually melted due to the influence of bhakti. So that is being established here, Prabhu, in the sloka.
No, that is not established, Prabhuji.
Components are there. One is
Sorry.
Romaharsha.
Without these two symptoms, you cannot say his heart is melted.
Yeah.
So without seeing the heart of melting of heart, you cannot say there is bhakti. So without presence of the bhakti, there is no possibility of
purification of
heart. Purification of heart is there means
that is
these two symptoms should be manifested.
Romaharsha and Anandasukula will happen.
Yeah.
If Romaharsha and Anandasukula is not happening means
that heart will not melt.
Heart is not purified also.
Yeah.
So this is in terms for the bhakta, isn't it? It's not for the jnani.
No, not for jnanis, it's for bhaktas. ठीक है.
As the commentary says, Prabhuji, without these symptoms being manifested, then bhakti also cannot appear.
Yeah.
That's
But
what it actually.
प्रभु जी, फीवर हीट है बॉडी में, तो
Yes.
मैंने टेम्परेचर है, तो मैंने इसका अर्थ क्या है? फीवर
There
है.
is fever.
There is a fever. So that's why, like that, temperature is a symptom of fever.
Fever.
So Chittadrava, that means Romaharsha and Ananda Sukla is a symptom of Chittadrava. Chittadrava is a symptom of Bhakti. And Bhakti, so without Bhakti, you cannot expect. So heart, purification of heart.
Okay.
So Katham vina Romaharsham Dravata Chetasa vina Ananda Sukalaya Shuddhyet Bhaktya, so vina Ashaya.
Gopal Prabhu.
Ah.
Which symptom is that? I didn't understand that.
Melting of heart, Chittadrava means.
Okay, but melting of heart, this is inside, yes, and hair standing, this is out symptom. This is not inside of the heart. That how we can say in case of one symptom that our heart is melted.
That is said, na? Romaharsha and Ananda Ashtakula. That means hair is standing on its hand and tears are coming. Those
Tears.
are the symptoms of the Chittadrava. That means if these two are not there, so that means hair is standing on its end, and so tears in the eyes. If these two are not there, means there is no melting of heart. So there is no melting of heart means there is no
bhakti.
bhakti.
Prabhu,
So
if I am 30 minus and outside, you know,
huh?
hair standing and tears floating, no problem.
What is it?
Prabhuji is saying that he is in external temperature where there is minus 30 degrees. There also these things are happening. So do you say that it is actually bhakti? That's what
Mataji, आप इतना हंस रहे हैं, सुना नहीं आ रहे हैं.
You know, I have this experience, no problem. But maybe something more is there, you know. I don't know.
अच्छा.
My question is, see, these two things, Romaharsham and Vinanand Anandoshru. Is these two, sir, can be taken as a component of bhakti?
These two are
Component of bhakti?
components.
See, if someone for the bhakti, automatically these
Symptoms.
Romaharsham and Anandoshru will come. Will follow the bhakti.
No, purification of heart. If these two are there means ultimately those two are indicating what? Purified heart. That's the point.
But some praxis should be there, yes, parallel to them.
Prabhu,
Some praxis. I think chanting of holy name. I don't know. You know, this inside of the praxis should happen like this. Symptoms should appear in the devotional service, not in only like this. You know.
Yes.
I mean, if we chanting and our hair standing and Ananda coming and everything, you know, tears floating, then it can be. But if we are in Siberian with minus 40 degree, our hair can standing and some other symptoms can come, you know, some bhakti symptoms in case, you know, also. But I think that is happening for our in Sankirtan in minus 30 degree, then this is okay. But if we are, yeah, I know you understand what I mean. Or,
yes, Prabhu.
okay.
Yes, I understood.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for this remark.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Next. Vaggadgad. What is that? Vaggadgada dravate yasya chittam rudatya bhikshnam hasati kvachitcha vilajja udgayati nrityate cha madbhakti yukto bhuvanam punati.
A devotee whose speech is sometimes choked up, whose heart melts, who cries continually and sometimes laughs, who feels ashamed and cries out loudly and then dances. A devotee thus fixed in loving service to me purifies the entire universe.
Yeah, a devotee whose speech is sometimes choked up. Vag gadgada dravate yasya chittam rudatyabhikshnam hasati kvachit vilajja udghayati nrityate cha madbhakti yukto bhuvanam punati. So here it is said how the devotee and devotion's glories. The glories of devotion is once again is said here. 24. So mad bhakti yuktaha mad prematishaya patram chet bhuvanamapi punati kimutashayam. That means next, that means who is having this Romaharsham and Ananda Shukula. So that means that devotee is having the devotion, and that devotion is purifying the heart. Now here Krishna is saying even further one more step. That means whose voice is choking up and who is sometimes crying, shouting, and vilaja udgayati. That means who is dancing and doing this. So such, that means these are the symptoms of prematishaya patram. That means who is in the atishaya prema. That means in extreme love. Whoever is in the extreme love, so those will be having these symptoms. That means why is he choking up and dancing and crying, sometimes shouting. So such a devotee can purify what? Simply the heart? No, even he can purify entire universe. Bhuvanam punati. That is the glory of the bhakti. So it can purify the entire universe. Where that kind of person can make, wherever he goes, he will make all of them as devotees. Millions of people devotees. So that's why someone is not becoming devotee because of whom? Because of our purity is not there. That's why devotees are not becoming. People are not becoming devotees. The only problem is with us. Next, यथाग्निना हेममलं जहति जातं पुनस्वं भजते च रूपम् आत्मा च कर्मानुशयं विधूय मद्भक्ति योगेन भजत्यतो माम्.
Just as gold, when smelted in fire, gives up its impurities and returns to its pure, brilliant state. Similarly, the spirit soul absorbed in the fire of Bhakti Yoga is purified of all contamination caused by previous fruitive activities and return to its original position of serving me in the spiritual world.
Yeah. So if you burn the gold, whatever the impurities are there, those will be completely released out. Where is it? Okay. Similarly, Atma cha karmanushayam vidhuya madbhakti yogena bhajati atho mam. So that means taya pritya tasya mahapremnaha praptikramam sadrishtantamah yatheti. So that means mahapremi is extreme lover. So extreme lover, mahapremi. How to become mahapremi? What are the different stages are explained in the coming slokas. Now the point is this. That means where we are in this our chart. These are all discussions are asakti. From the asakti to this you can see. Roma Harsham and Ananda Srukula are the symptoms of asakti. So and after that Mahaprema is prema. This is who is purifying the entire universe. Okay. So now we are going to see how one can become Mahapremi. How one can become Mahapremi, that we are going to discuss. So step by step in the coming slokas. So here in this sloka, what is said in this 25th sloka? Yatha madbhakti yogena matpritya. So karmanushayam vidhuya shodhayitva atha karsnena bhajati mahapremavirbhavat purnam seva paddatim prapnoti. So that means in the beginning what it is happening? Mad bhakti yogena. Initially by the bhakti process, he is, that means initially bhakti means love towards the Lord. By that what he is doing? He is purifying his heart. Then after that, So ata karsnena, that means when a heart is purified, that means purifying heart means this anartha nivritti. Then after that, he is fully, karsnena means full devotion. That means nishtha. Nishtha means, that means fully steady in the bhajan. Okay. So that means then he is fully in that. Then after that, he will be becoming the then he will be reaching to the Mahaprema. This. Okay. Gas छोड़ रहे ना? कोई gas छोड़े? तिरुमलाई छोड़े, मुझे पता है. Why you are doing this? in AC room, why you are doing this? Already headache will come. Go outside and do it na. Like, because only two in the class, very few people are there. Then how will you do this? Tiru, it's very bad. Door खोलो जाके. खोलो. सिर दर्द आ रहा है. नहीं, डोर खोलो. 1 मिनट के लिए खोलो. हवा चले जाएगा. दोनों खोलो. ये भी खोलो ब्रो. अब तब ना जाएगा. तिरु, इतना परेशान मत करो यार. So atma cha karmanushayam vidhuya mad vyakti yogena bhajityatho mam. Okay. So like this, that means he is initially purifying anartha nivritti, karmashayam, that means, so vidhuya, that means purifying the heart. Then after that he is becoming the steady in his devotion. So next, yata yatatma parimrujyate sau mat punya gatha shavana vidhanai tatha tatha pashyati vastu sukshmam chakshuryatai vanjana samprayuktam. अब बंद करो.
When a diseased eye is treated with medicinal ointment, it gradually recovers its power to see. Similarly, as a conscious living entity cleans himself of material contamination by hearing and chanting the pious narration of my glories, he regains his ability to see me, the absolute truth, in my subtle spiritual form.
Yes. Yatha yatha parimrujyate. As much he cleans the heart, that much he will be seeing the subtle things. So tatra sukshma means madhiya surupa guna leela yatharthyam pashyati. That means as much as one is purifying his heart, that much he is able to see the Lord's closely. That means Lord's various sweet pastimes and qualities and so on. So sukshma means what is the finest and subtle thing in this whole universe? Lord. Anoraniyan mahato mahyan. So Lord is the subtle thing, and Lord and his activities, his qualities, his pastimes, all are very subtle. If you want to see, you have to purify the heart. That means as much as like eyes are diseased, so then you will be seeing only big objects. When eyes are purified so much, as much as, then you will be seeing the very subtle things like this. As heart is purified, so that much you can see. So this is the point is said here. Darshana kramatishayena. Okay, next 26. Tasmad bhakti reva abhyasaniya ityupasamharan. So okay, this much is said here. Next 27. Vishayan dhyayata chittam vishayeshu vishajjate mamanusmaradis chittam mayyeva praviliyate.
The mind of one meditating upon the object of sense gratification is certainly entangled in such objects. But if one constantly remembers me, then the mind is absorbed in me.
Yeah. So here in the 27 and 28, Tasmat bhakti reva abhyasaniya iti upasamharana. So then that means one should do what? So that's why one has to do bhakti. Kevala bhakti. So Vishayan dhyayatas chittam vishayeshu visajjate. That means if you think about the material objects, then you will be absorbing in the material objects only. That means mind will be entering into the material objects, and material objects are entering into the mind. Sense objects are entering into the mind. So this kind of entanglement will happen. So now that's what Krishna is saying finally. One has to do Mam anusmaras tas chittam. So that's why leave meditating on the sense objects and meditate upon what? Me, on the Lord. This is the point he brought. That means bhakti one has to do. That means meditation on the Lord should go on. Okay, this is clear. Next, tasmad asad vidyanam yatha swapna manoratham hitva mayi samadhatsva mano madbhava bhavitam.
Therefore, one should reject all material process of elevation, which are like the mental creation of a dream, and should completely absorb one's mind in me. By constantly thinking of me, one becomes purified.
Yeah. So finally he's saying same thing. That means one what tasmat, therefore asadbhidhyanam yatha swapna manoratham. That means meditating on the material objects is like what? Is like a dream. That means in the dream you will be getting some objects for the time being, and you will be having those for the time being, and then after that, so after waking up, finished. So material world is also like the dream for a spiritual person. So all these objects are only for time being. So that's why he is saying here, this is a dream. So these material objects are like a dream, objects in the dream. So better to, that's why one should meditate on the Lord. So finally, that means Uddhava, what he asked, if you reconcile everything, Uddhava asked that there are the different sadhanas are there. So like yoga, sankhya, tapa, dhyana, swadhyaya, karma, there are various sadhanas are there. But among all those sadhanas, so a bhakti is the highest, because he said clearly all these sadhanas, even if they are done in the bhakti, so those cannot control Lord the way bhakti can control. And also he said, so all these sadhanas, so without bhakti cannot do anything, cannot purify also. All these sadhanas without bhakti cannot purify also. So like this. So, and also finally established that bhakti only purify the heart, because melting of heart can happen only through bhakti. So that's why melting of heart is, symptoms are Romaharsha and Anandashtakula. So that is, those are the symptoms of the melting of heart that can be possible only by bhakti. In Annie's case, there is no melting of heart. The heart will become so hard. In the Karmi's case, they are only in the business people, only they are interested in the fruitive results. So that's why they cannot be compassionate. So who can be the compassionate in this whole universe? Only the devotees. Okay. And after that also you have seen the Shraddha, that means which is, so Shraddha Yukta Bhakti, Sharanagati Atmaka Bhakti, so can Kevala Bhakti can control the Lord. So like this we have seen different things. Okay, now next to 29. Strinam Stri Sanginam Sangam Tyaktva Durata Atmavan Ksheme Vivikta Asinam Chintayen Mamatandritaha.
Being conscious of the eternal self, one should give up association with woman and those intimately associated with woman. Sitting fearlessly in a solitary place, one should concentrate the mind on me with great attention.
So here, that means one should do bhakti. One should leave the meditation on the material objects. So meditation on the material objects, what is the foremost and prime thing? So material objects, out of all, there are innumerable material objects are there in this whole universe. The highest and the toughest material object is what? Woman for the man and man for the woman. This is the greatest difficult material object. So Strinam Sanga Sanginam, Stri Sanginam Sangam Tyaktva, so Durata Atmavan, Ksheme Vivakta. That means one should leave the association of woman and the person who associates woman. Similarly, woman also should leave the association of man and the man who associates woman. So that's very dangerous actually, because one who has intimate contact with women and becomes attached to them will gradually lose his determination to go back home, back to Godhead. तो पूरा खत्म हो जाएगा जब स्त्री की संग करेंगे. If someone is associating women, then what will happen? So his determination, yes, I have to go back to the Godhead and bring the revolution in this society. So do the service. So everything will be out. That means one cannot be engage himself in the service. Just serving her. Woman's main quality is what? What is the woman's main quality? Woman demands mainly security. Yes? Safety. Safety is the main concern for the woman. And you have to provide safety, 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 safety in whole life. But still, she will not feel safe. And so kya kiya aap? What did you do for me? All the time only one word will be coming from them. What did you do for me? What did you do for me? You have no love for me. You have no love. This is a complaint. Whole life is complaint. This only one complaint will go on. Yes, Ram Krishna Prabhu.
As long as the wife is not a devotee, yes, but once she takes up to devotional service, then things change.
थोड़ा सा reduce होगा. जितना, that means as much as Shraddha they have, as much as they have surrenderance on the Lord, so that much it will be reduced. Otherwise, that hankering will be there.
Yes.
That is a natural, that means their mood actually. So they want all the time safety through money, through the socially, through the, so physically in all the ways. So that's why man's, that means the man is just for some little pleasure. So if he take up the responsibility, then his whole life, so he is giving, he will become the master now and giving in the safety to her, then whole life will be finished. Whole time and energy is completely gone, because you cannot satisfy anyone in this universe. You cannot give safety to anyone because you don't have safety. Then whom you can give safety? Yes, Mataji, this is true, na?
True, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So that's why better is no business. So that's why one should not lament that I missed something in my life without marriage. So such a lamentation should not be there. Therefore, one is advised to be fearless and to sit down. So sit down in a solitary place, or a place where there are no lusty men and women committing spiritual suicide. Without fear of failure or of unhappiness in life, one should remain with sincere devotee of the Lord. That means without fear of failure, that means you married and you lost a woman, wife. Don't worry, it's good for you. Now you be alone and one time is over, finish. If your wife is not cooperating, no problem, leave it. And now focus on the bhakti, fully surrender to the Lord and do the devotion. And you are a brahmachari and you didn't get one time also, then you also don't worry. Tirumala, no need to fear. Are I am failure person without marriage. What is this? Life is failure. No, it is not a failure life. It's successful. You are successful. When you will be successful? When you fully surrender on the Krishna. Okay. Sometimes you may feel when you go outside and seeing so many people are in the big cars, they are going with the wife and they having their own prapancha, their own house and safety life, this, that. And I am missing, maybe I am missing something. You are not missing anything. Yeah. Sambalram Prabhu wants to give some.
Big car, palace, this is all a burden.
Yeah.
So people not understanding.
Yes.
They are always carrying wherever they go. They always carry whatever they have.
Yes.
Special things, they all always carry.
Yes.
And because of this, they always feel insecurity.
Yes. That's the natural. Actually, women's mentality is they want security, they want safety. That is the fundamental principle. And what is the limit for their safety? There is no limit. Even if you bring the whole universe to them, but still they feel insecure. And similarly, man is so lusty, and he wants all the time this desires fulfilled, and that's why he wants to control. So there is no. So that's why in this material world you cannot satisfy anyone. Actually, it's impossible. Actually, it is impossible. In this material world, you cannot satisfy anyone by your own material strength. It's impossible. Only bhakti can satisfy. So that's unnecessarily one. That means in the material world, we try to see the lovers. They try to satisfy each other to the extreme extent they want to go, but still there is a complaint from the partner. It will be there actually. Even if you give whole and everything, if you submit yourself, but still there is complaint. You didn't do anything. This will be there. So that's why it's better to wind up the program of that, become brahmachari and be happy. Hari Bol. Yes. And also whoever are the grihasthas, very soon they should leave their family life and become the detached. And so yeah, welcome to our IBMV. Ramakrishna Prabhu, please, you should come.
Yes, Prabhuji. I will certainly try and do that.
Yes. We welcome Mataji also, but Mataji's setup we want to build, then we'll call Mataji also.
Certainly. Yes, Prabhu.
Anyway, Adoksha Prabhu joined with us. Yeah. Next, what is the sloka number? 20? 30. Yeah. न तथास्या भवेत् क्लेशो बन्धश्चान्य प्रसंगतः योषि संगात् यथा पुंसो यथा संगी संगतः.
Of all kinds of suffering and bondage arising from various attachment, none is greater than the suffering and bondage arising from attachment to woman or from intimate contact with those attached to woman.
So this all kinds of sufferings and bondage arising from various attachments, none is greater than the suffering and bondage arising from the attachment to women. You might be having the attachment for your laptop, your cowpin, or your the t-shirt and your dhoti kurta. These are not really attachment, but having attachment for a woman, or similarly attachment for woman case man, is the highest attachment. It can create such a prapancha. You cannot spend time for the Krishna actually. It's a very difficult. It's a truth. Until unless if they don't become devotees, and it's very impossible actually to satisfy them. That means satisfaction in the marriage life without the Krishna consciousness is impossible. In any that means any case, anything. So without Krishna consciousness, brahmachari also cannot be happy. Sannyasi also cannot happy without Krishna consciousness. So that's why mundane material pleasure, that means materially they want to serve each other. Materially they want to serve each other and they try to become happy without Krishna consciousness is completely a failure game actually. It's a failure thing. So, yeah. One should make a greater endeavor to give up intimate contact with women and those fond of women. A learned gentleman will automatically be on guard if placed in intimate contact with lusty women. So lusty woman is said here because who is not Krishna conscious, and associating such a woman is simply a prapancha actually. Then you will be engaged in the various activities, and that will keep on adding that means your attachment to the material things. That means woman, then after that house, then children, and then this, and then that, then that. So then there is no ending. There is no ending. Anyway, you have to leave everything. So better leave beginning only. Yeah, it's better, na actually. If you get that much intelligence, then better to leave beginning only. If you are not having that much intelligence, then yeah. So it's not that who are going for that they are not having any intelligence. That's not the meaning. But if they have such a confidence, they can come up with the Krishna consciousness offsprings offsprings in their life, then it's good. They can go for that. But if they don't have any confidence like that, then better be one, alone, single. So that's why in the company of lusty women, however, the same man may engage in all kinds of social dealings and thus be contaminated by their polluted mentality. So that's why whoever is not Krishna conscious, that person will be automatically lusty. Whoever is Krishna conscious, he will not be lusty. That is a simple funda. So that's why, so materialistic person will be definitely will be creating the problems since they have so much lust in their heart. Association with the lusty men is often more dangerous than association with women. Association with lusty men, that means in the case of the woman, opposite. That means, so some man is there. So some person is there, man is there. For man, who is the dangerous? Woman is dangerous, or the man who attached with the woman? Man who attached to the woman is more dangerous. In the case of woman, now let us take, she is woman, this woman. So in the case of woman, for her, man association, and the woman, so who attached to a man? Woman who attached to a man. So woman is dangerous. For woman is dangerous. So the woman who attached to a man, such a woman's association is dangerous for the woman. This is the fun. So there are innumerable verses in the Bhagavatam describing the intoxication of material lust. Suffice it to say that a lusty man becomes exactly like a dancing dog, and by influence of Cupid loses all gravity, intelligence, and direction in life. So that means whoever is lusty, then what, he will become a puppet in the hands of a woman. So then he will be submitting everything himself, and whatever she says, he will follow that. Then that's everything is finished. Then everything is finished. Then he cannot be so continuing his service. So the Lord warns here that one who surrenders to the illusory form of a woman suffers unbearably in this life and the next life. In the both cases, in this life and also next life. If who is surrendering to a Maya, that means in the form of woman, then his life is miserable. So next, Sri Uddhava Uvacha Yatha Tvamaravindaksha Yadrisham Va Yadatmakam Dhyayen Mumukshere Tan Me Dhyanam Tvam Vaktum Arhasi.
Sri Uddhava said, my dear lotus-eyed Krishna, by what process should one who desires liberation meditate upon you? Of what specific nature should his meditation be? And upon which form should he meditate? Kindly explain to me this topic of meditation.
Yeah. So till now you heard the story. That means various sadhanas are there, but among that Bhakti sadhana is the best. And also you have heard so many points about the Bhakti. So how it is purifying the heart. The other sadhanas are not doing. So, and Bhakti can destroy all the kinds of that means this, and it can control the Lord, and devotion can purify everything. So like this, you have heard so many things. Then finally Krishna is also concluding that one should do the Bhakti. That means one should meditate on the Lord, not on the sense objects. This is the conclusion. Till now he brought that one should meditate on Krishna, not the material objects. Among the material objects, the highest attachment will be given by whom? By the association with the opposite sex is the highest attachment it will give. So that's why one should be careful in that much he said. Now Uddhava is asking a question. So what is that? How to meditate on the Lord? This point he is asking, how to meditate on the Lord. So here you have to see why. That means Bhakti, one should do them. That means ultimately one should absorb in the thought of Krishna. So this is how it is possible is said. So here now, what is sloka number is 30, 31. Okay. So here atra mumukshunam tat prakaram pruchhati. Mumukshunam tat prakara yatha iti. So here now whatever the process we are going to see, Krishna is going to explain. So that means meditating on the Lord. So that means X person is there and he is meditating on the Lord. So for the purpose of what? To get the liberation from material objects. So material objects. So that means in the last sloka, if you see, Krishna is saying that one should leave his meditation on the sense objects. That means if you analyze, if you see the whole topic discussion turn towards what direction? So liberation. That means becoming detached from the Tirumala. जाना है क्या आपको? नहीं है ना? Controlled. Okay. So if one is, that means what is the topic where it went? So how to get detachment from the material objects? That means this is possible. That means detachment from the material objects is possible by meditating on the Krishna. So that means we are not going to see the pure devotion now. We are not going to see the pure devotion, but we are going to see what? Liberation. Liberation. How to become detached from the material objects. That is we are going to see. Through what? Through meditating on the Krishna. So that's why it is the process, whatever is being explained, it is not the pure devotion, it is liberation. That's why you should be sensing, you should be sensitive enough to understand the topic is going towards which direction, whether it is pure devotion or otherwise, whether it is a mimukshus and what. So now in this chart, what is which side we are going to discuss? The left side we are going to discuss now once again. Till now we discussed right side. Now once again coming to the left side. In the left side also, actually left side is also having this path is also having the various sub paths like this. So one path we are going to see in this, that is the Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga process we are going to discuss now. That means meditating on the Lord, by meditating on the Lord, so we are going to get the liberation. Okay, this is the discussion of the topic now. Okay, maybe pani piyunga. I don't know why he. Okay. मुझे बैठ के पढ़ने की इच्छा नहीं हो रहा है आज. So what is said here? Parardha prashnah sarvesham marganam taratamyena swamargotkarsha gnanam bhavati iti bhavena yatha agre siddhinam api evam anyatrapi. Evam anyatrapi. Then actually Srimad Bhagavatam is a pure devotional book. Why we have to discuss all these other methods? What is the need of discussing the other methods like Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, this yoga, that yoga? Why these are all yogas he is explaining? So all the time he has to say only one thing. So Ananya Bhakti, because that is only the summary of everything.
Until we know other process, we cannot appreciate the path of devotion.
Yeah. So here Parardha Prashnaha. So Sarvesham Marganam Taratamya Gnanena. That means Sarvesham Gnananam, Sarvesham Marganam Taratamya Gnanena. If you know the subtleties, that means the differences, that means Ucha Nicha Beda. Ucha Nicha Beda means superiority and inferiority. That means differences between superiority and inferiority, difference between the various sadhanas. If you come to know, that means sadhana 1, 2, 3, that means this is karma, this is gnana, this is yoga, this is sankhya, this is so dana, this is tapa, vrata, swadhyaya, so and so. Many sadhanas are there. If you know the differences between all these, and that means which is superior and which is inferior, then what will happen? So that will be helping you to, so that will help you to get the full shraddha in bhakti. So that's why it is very important to know the glory of, or the power of other sadhanas also. That's needed. The difficulty, how much pain is there in that, what kind of result is coming, how much time it will take. So in the showroom you are going, and 10 objects you will be seeing. You'll be seeing the merits and demerits of all. Then finally you'll be selecting the best one. To select best one, you need to know other ones also. If you don't know other things, then you cannot select best one. You cannot get the full shraddha in the bhakti.
If one doesn't know other process,
Yeah.
then what will happen? His faith also will not increase on bhakti,
Yes.
because he might have doubt. Maybe they are superior than us.
Yeah.
Others
So
are superior than the bhakti.
yeah, in the Bhagavatam also sometimes material desires and fall down due to material desires also, that kind of stories you'll be seeing a lot. They will be discussed, chapters and chapters, and also disadvantages of the material, so attraction towards material objects. This is discussed again and again, instead of discussing the pure Krishna mother, that means sweet pastimes. These are also discussed a lot, because until unless if they are not discussed nicely, you may be thinking that something is there, and you may not get the full shraddha in the bhakti. So okay, so that's why we are going to discuss what? The mumukshunam margam. That means the person who wants to get the liberation. So what kind of process he is going to practice? That means Ashtanga Yoga process, that we are going to discuss. Already we discussed the Jnanis. Now we are going to see the Yogis Ashtanga process. This is in the chapter summary also we have seen. In this chapter we are going to discuss the Ashtanga Yoga process. So okay, let us start. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Samasana Asinaha Samakayo Yatha Sukham Hastavat Sangha Adhaya Swana Sagra Krute Kshana Pranasya Shodayen Margam Purukumbakare Chakai Viparyayena Pishanair Abhyasen Nirjitendriyaha.
The Supreme Personality of God is said, sitting on a level seat. There is not too high or too low. Keeping the body straight and erect yet comfortable. Placing the two hands on one's lap and focusing the eyes on the tip of one's nose. One should purify the pathways of breathing by practicing the mechanical exercise of Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rachaka. And then one should reverse the procedure, Rachaka, Kumbhaka, and Puraka. Having fully controlled the senses, one may thus practice pranayama step by step.
Yes. So, see, whole Bhagavatam is this only. Sometimes some other marga, immediately Krishna brings that bhakti is best. Then after that, he will explain some other sadhana, and in between he will establish Ananya Bhakti. And once again, some other. If second canto also, third canto, fourth canto, everywhere, this only. Only this much chart. This. Now it is having the one is purely Gnana, that means associating the Guru. Under the Guru, you will be hearing the Shrutis, that means Vedas, and then from that getting the knowledge, Vidya, and by that you are so removing the Avidya and becoming self-realized, and then after that merging into the Brahman. This is one way. Second is what? So that means getting detachment and then following the yoga. That means first Yama, Niyama, Pranayam, Pratyahar, so Yama, Niyama, so Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So these are the different. This is another process. This much. And another is Ananya Bhakti. Remaining is Karma Mishra Bhakti here. And here it is Karma Mishra Gnanam. And a Karmis. Sometimes we will be seeing the scolding of Karmis. Bhagavatam is scolding Karmis. Sometimes it is telling that. So people practicing the Karma Mishra Gnanam. Sometimes it is also telling about Karma Gnanam Mishra Bhakti. and bhakti, and after that glorifying the Suddha bhakti, and in that various stages are the symptoms. So steady, how to get the steadiness in the bhakti, how to get the prema, so finally Bhagavad Prapti. And sometimes it comes at this side, and this pure gnana process is discussed, associating guru and under the guru's direction, so getting the knowledge and getting the vidya. And sometimes we'll be seeing the Ashtanga Yoga process and the results. This much. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, entire whole Bhagavatam, this much only. Bas. So course is this much only actually. Complete. And also here, this is also different. That means getting the Goloka, getting the Dwarika, getting the Vaikunta, getting the Saket. So getting the Brahman merging into the Brahman, and going to the Vaikunta without service, Goloka with service. So then that everything depends upon the type of bhakti we do. This is there any difficult? Bhakti is this much learning. Then after that you should get full Shraddha and Ananya Bhakti and go back to Godhead. Very simple this is.
Unless we come to IBMV and here, how can we know this, Prabhu?
अच्छा ऐसा नहीं है bro. I will go. I will come to their place. I will go to their place. Next year I am going to travel in all the places, in all the temples.
You're most welcome, Prabhu. Please come.
Yes. Yes. First India I will target. So how to do the Ashtanga Yoga? So this is the process. Actually, Ashtanga Yoga better to keep this side only, not this side. This you keep only for the Gnana, and meditating on the Paramatma is also keep this side, but because Savishesha. So now you divide this absolute truth into two. One is Brahman, this side is worship Brahman, and this side is Savishesha. This is Nirvishesha. Brahman means Nirvishesha. And Savishesha. And you bring, this is pure devotional service, Ananya Bhakti. You draw one more line. One more. And this is what? Ashtanga Yoga. Because why we took this side? Because Ashtanga Yoga is also targeting on Savishesha. So that's why Ashtanga Yoga you will take. Yeah. This is also there, but that is another. Yes. That will bring, when we explain Bhagavad Gita, you will bring out even full detailed this. तब तो मजा आएगा. You want that? Yeah, within 1 week, how to learn Bhagavad Gita within 1 week. Bhagavatam within 10 days. Chapter full, even one point will not be missed from the entire Bhagavatam. Everything will be covered, and also within 10 days, within 7 days, we can make.
When will that
You're
chart be
going to
released,
take
Prabhu?
that course, Prabhuji?
When will that chart be released, Prabhu?
Both are excited actually. Yes, yes. Huh? Yeah. Yes. We'll do Mataji. Very soon we will be doing that. So that what will happen? All the misconceptions in the society will be finished. There are so much misconceptions and so much this, that, unclear actually. Yes. It's going on actually very, very much. And we can also preach to new people also very easily. Preaching will become very easy then. Okay. So sama asana asinaha samakayo yatha sukam. First, that means yamanima is there. That means controlling that means following some do's and don'ts. And then after that, what yogi will be doing? Asan. That means making his body fit to sit at one place with steadily. This is one of the important aspect for the yogis. Sama asana asina samakayo yatha sukam. And also comfortably sitting. in one place for 1 hour. It's not a joke actually. Whole day they used to sit. For us, for 1 hour, 16 hour rounds chanting, 2 hours also we are not able to sit. Half an hour also. Maximum. Maybe Tirumala sits for 2 hours. Huh? So Hastavat Hastautsanga, it's not necessary for the devotees sitting in a steady pose. For Ananya Bhaktas, he'll never bring these concepts so that this will be obstacle for the practicing the Ananya Bhakti. This Ashtanga Yoga techniques, Gnana techniques, all these consciousness is going, so I have to sit straight, I have to sit. This kind of should not be there. It should be naturally, it is coming to you, okay, fine. Wherever the position, naturally you feel comfortable, sit that, but full focus should be there on the holy name. Holy name. It's not that the sitting straightly or the bending. Activating chakras, these are all not necessary. But for the Ashtanga yogis, it is very important. If they are not able to sit stably at one place, they are not able to control their body steadily, they cannot put their attention on the Paramatma. It's impossible. So that's why first Jita Sangha, Jitasanaha, Bhagavad Gita also you'll see. That means who conquered, that means sitting at one place steadily. So that is the Jitasanaha. First that is, then after that, he has to, so Yama, Niyama, Asana, next Pranayam. Pranayam means what? So closing the right, that means the Dakshana. So Dakshana, Nasika, and inhaling air into the left, through the left side, and holding some time, and through the right side leaving, and after completely leaving, and then gradually taking, then closing this left side one, and opening the, that means from the right side one you take slowly and keep it for some time, and then release from the left side. So like this. So like this, if you keep on doing these cycles, so like this, inside, outside, outside, like this, then what this is known as pranayam. By doing the pranayam, what will happen? Mind will be controlled. So prana is the main vital force which activates the mind. If prana is controlled, mind is controlled. This is a technique actually. So someone use the Ashtanga Yoga for doing the bhakti, then he is known as Yoga Mishra Bhakta, which is explained in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Mishra Bhakta. That means they use these techniques to do the bhakti, to meditate on the Lord. So pranasya sodhayet. So in the commentary, if you see, Sukhasinah iti tad anga bhutas swastikadishu madhye ekam kuryat iti yuktam. Okay, this is a yoga process. You can see. Then Puraka Kumbhaka, that I explained already, that's the pranayama. They are the components of the pranayama. So then after that, next. Hrudaya vichinnam omkaram ganthanadam visornavat pranenodiyaryatatratha punah samvishayet swaram.
Beginning from the Muladhara Chakra, one should move the life air continuously upward like the fibers in the lotus stalk until one reaches the heart, where the secret syllable Om is situated like the sound of a bell. One should thus continue raising the secret syllable upward the distance of 12 angulas, and there the Omkara should be joined together with the 15 vibration produced with Anuswara.
So yes, now we are going to see the pranayama. Pranayama is two types: sagarbha, agarbha. Sagarbha, agarbha. So tatra sreshtatvat pranava garbham aha. Sagarbha is the best one. So hrudi iti dvabhyam, by the two slokas, hrudi. Sagarbha, agarbha, like this two pranayams are there. In that, which one is better? Sagarbha one is better. So in the Sagarbha one, what happens? That is explained in the two slokas, 34 and 35. 34 and 35. So what is this? Mooladhara Darabhyavachinnam Santatam Gantanada Tulyonkaram Hrudi Samstitam. So Pranenodhiri Diryordhvam Dvadashanta Paryantam Nitva Katham. So first of all, what he has to bring? He has to bring the Mooladharat Mooladharadhara Abhyavachinnam Santatam Ghantanada Tulyam Onkara. So Onkara is situated in where? Om. Om is there in the Mooladhara actually. So that you should bring to the Hrudi, to the heart. That means Asta Chakra, that means Shat Chakra Yoga, which is explained in the second canto also it is said. To leave the material body, so yogis, they practice the Shat Chakra Yoga. So Shat Chakra Yoga, how to do? Some little steps are given here. If you want to know very detailedly, nicely, then you should read the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So I am not expert in this, but just I can give you some basic information like this. So that means he will be doing the Sagarbha Pranayam. So for that, what he has to do? He has to bring the Omkara, which is there in the Mooladhara Chakra. We have the 6 chakras, Shat chakras. The first, then that means at the Moola, that means where? Just under the spinal cord, that means ending, where from the evacuation route is there. So there is a one chakra is there. That is the beginning chakra. That is Mooladhara, base chakra. And from there there is Om is already there. Your speaking means how the voice is coming, because the sound is started from the Om there only, from the Mooladhara chakra. Om is there, that is traveling from the different chakras, and it came to this. So there is chakra here at the throat, and then it is coming in the form of Vaikari, Para Prashyanti Vaikari. Mainly Shat chakra, na? 6. Yeah. So this is the thing. Next, Evam prana samyuktam pranameva samabhyaset dashakrutva trishavanam masa darvagjitanilah. Next.
Being fixed in the Omkara, one should carefully practice the pranayama system 10 times at each sunrise, noon, and sunset. Thus, after 1 month, one will have conquered the life here.
Yeah. So then what you have to do? Now Omkara is fixed at the heart, and you have to practice now fixing Omkara here and pranayama. That means Puraka, Kumbhaka, Rechaka. So these things you should practice. Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka. Puraka means taking inside. Kumbhaka means holding the hair in the that is Dakshina Vama. So Puraka means filling. Holding. That's why I'm saying Puraka means taking inside. So Kumbhaka means, that means keeping, holding, and Rechaka means leaving. It can be done this side also. Puraka can be this side, holding, and so releasing. So inhaling, holding, and releasing. Once again, inhaling, holding, and releasing. Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka. So like this, one has to do by keeping Omkara at the heart. Okay. We should know, because it is difficult to say. It is difficult. So that you'll get full Shraddha in the Bhakti. Next, Tatra Matreti Swaram Panchadasham Bindum Samveshet Hata Punarityasya Tamcha. So Bindu Shiraskam Kuryadityatha Yadva Mooladharadharabhya Murdhanta Paryantam Bisatantu vat sukshmamu avacchinnam santatam hrudi manasi. It's very difficult. And so that means being fixed in the Omkara, one should carefully practice pranayama. Okay. Next. हृत्पुण्डरीकमन्तस्थम् ऊर्ध्वनालमधोमुखं ध्यात्वोर्ध्वमुखं मुखमुन्न निद्रमष्टपत्रं सकीर्णकं कार्णिकायां न्यसेत् सूर्य सोमाग्निनुत्तरोत्तरं वह्निमध्ये स्मरेद् रूपं ममेतद्ध्यानमङ्गलम् समं प्रशान्तं सुमुखं दीर्घचारु चतुर्भुजं सचारु सुन्दरग्रीवं सुखपोलं शुचिस्मितं समानकर्णविन्यस्य तत्स्फुरन्मुखरकुण्डलं हेमाम्बरं घनश्यामं श्रीवत्स श्रीनिकेतनं शङ्खचक्र पद्म वनमाला विभूषितम् नूपुरैर्विलसत्पादं कौस्तुभप्रभयायुतं द्युमत्किरीटकटका कटिसूत्राङ्गदायुतं सर्वाङ्गसुन्दरं हृद्यं प्रसाद सुमुखे क्षणं सुकुमारमभिध्यायेत् सर्वाङ्गेषु मनोदधत् इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यो मनसा कृष्य तन्मनः बुद्ध्या सारथीनाधीरः प्रणयेन्मयि सर्वतः.
Keeping the eyes half closed and fixed on the tip of one's nose, being enlivened and alert, one should meditate on the lotus flower situated within the heart. This lotus has 8 petals and is situated on an erect lotus stalk. One should meditate on the sun, moon, fire, placing them one after the other within the whole of that lotus flower. Placing my transcendental form within the fire, one should meditate upon it as the auspicious goal of all meditation. That form is perfectly proportioned, gentle, and cheerful. It possesses 4 beautiful long arms, a charming, beautiful neck, a handsome forehead, a pure smile, and glowing shark-shaped earrings sharpened from 2 identical ears. That special form is the color of a dark rain cloud and is curved in golden Yulish silk. The chest of that form is the abode of Shiva's and the goddess of fortune, and that form is also decorated with a conch shell, dix club, lotus flower, and garland of forest flowers. The 2 brilliant lotus feet are decorated with ankle bells and bracelet, and that form exhibit the Kustabosem along with the four effulgent crown. The upper leaves are beautified by a golden belt. Sorry, upper hips are beautified by a golden belt, and the arms are decorated with valuable bracelet. All of the limbs of that beautiful form capture the heart, and the face is beautified by merciful cleansing. Pulling the senses back from the sense object, one should be grave and self-controlled and should use the intelligence to strongly fix the mind upon all the limbs of my transcendental body. Thus, one should meditate upon that most delicate transcendental form of mind.
Yeah, in this sloka, actually, we are seeing all these 4, 5 slokas, 5 slokas total. So, one has to, first of all, what he has to purify his life air completely. That means he is doing the pranayam. By doing the pranayam, what will happen? Pranayam and pratyahar. So, first of all, one should be stably sitting in the asan, that is jitasana. So then after that, he has to conquer the mind and senses. So then he has to turn these senses and mind from outward world to inside. That means then he is able to see Paramatma in his heart by the purification of the life air. So that is helpful to control the mind and senses. So pranayam and pratyahar. So that's why it will take a lot of time. Like it's like anardhani vritti. So basically purification. Like pranayam and pratyahar means that means turning the senses from outward direction to inward. And pranayama means controlling the life air that is useful to control the mind and also so senses. This is the method. First one should rigorously follow this by following the Samsachakra yoga. So by bringing the, that means Om from the Mooladhara to the heart, and then if you do the pranayam, then you will be contamination. The heart contamination is cleaned. So if someone is not able to see the, that means after pranayam and pratyahar, so if he is trying to control his senses and mind, and then only he is able to see the Paramatma in his heart. And if he is not able to meditate on the Paramatma, if he is not able to purify his mind and the senses by using the pranayam and pratyahar, then what he has to do? He has to practice focusing on Virat Purusha. What do you have to do? That means since you are not fully controlled, not able to control fully your mind and senses, then what you have to do? Because you have to meditate on the, instead of meditating on the Paramatma, you cannot see Paramatma. It means pranayam pratyahar, if you purify nicely, if you pass in these two steps, then only you can enter into the, able to see the Paramatma, beautiful form of the Paramatma, what is explained in these slokas. If it is not able to, if it is not done by you, if it is not able to done by that yogi, then what is the option for him? He has to meditate on the various limbs of the Virat Rupa. So where he is seeing Virat Rupa, he has to imagine. But Virat Rupa original is there or not? Huh? Shambal bro, Virat Rupa original is there or not? Originally is there, but yogi is not able to see. He cannot see the total Virat. So now he will be so imagining Virat Rupa and considering Patala and all these 14 planetary systems on the different limbs of that Virat, and he's meditating on that Virat. So by this, what is going to happen? By meditating on the Virat Purusha, what is the advantage of the what is going to happen?
His heart gets purified, Prabhuji.
How? Logic is what?
Meditating on.
Huh? What is the logic? What you should read in the second canto? Tell me.
Purification of the heart essentially refers to the clarity of the conceptions. Unless that is done, purity of the heart and the mind cannot be done. Now, by concentrating or focusing upon, because he is not able to accept the transcendental form of the Lord as existing, he needs a media by which the mind can actually be focused. The essence is to focus the mind, and thereby he has to take shelter of these aspects, Prabhu.
No.
Okay, please go ahead, Prabhu. Let me hear from you.
So see, he has some material attachment. That's why he is not able to so fix his consciousness on the so beautiful form of the Lord. That means he failed in the steps of the pratyahar, pranayama and pratyahar, especially in the pratyahar. So then what he has to do? So to purify his heart, he has to meditate on the Virat. This is Virat, and this is the yogi. He should meditate on. What is the logic here? Why we are asking him to meditate on the Virat to purify his heart? Because he has attachment for the various material objects, and now or otherwise, so he is having the attachment for the various pleasures are available in these 14 planetary systems. So now he is seeing everything is the manifestation out of material modes, which are the part and parcel of the Virat. Total whatever, that means he's having the attraction for a woman, let us take. And she is also, what is Virat? She is also part of the, her body is part of the Vesti. Vesti is a Vesti and Samishti. So Vesti Purusha. So she is also Vesti Purusha, which is comprised of this total. So that means he will not see, he will lose his attachment for the material attachment by understanding that everything is part of the Virat. This is going to happen. He'll be understanding subtly. So then he will, so by this dharana, that means by meditating on the so Virat, so his heart is purified, then he is able to meditate on the Paramatma who is there in his heart. So ultimately, he will also come back. That we have seen in the second canto. Okay. Now, what is said? After that means purifying the heart, he is able to see Paramatma there. How Paramatma is situated? How he is, that means how beautiful he is. So you can see. The explanation is given. So the lotus has, that means he's sitting in, he's standing in what? In a lotus flower.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
if I may request you, how does a person who is meditating on the Virat can divert his attention to come back to meditate on Paramatma? How is the
Because
relation between
heart
Virat
is
and
purified,
Paramatma?
so he can go for the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, meditating on the Antaryami of that Virat. He can meditate on the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu also. There is a possibility of he can come to meditate on the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu in his heart also. Because heart is purified now. Main obstacle is what? Impure. That means impurities in the heart. So by meditating on the Virat, heart is purified and he is able to see the inside the Antara Virat also. Who is there inside the Virat? Paramatma is there. Which Paramatma? Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is the Paramatma for the Virat. And on him he will meditate, or otherwise his own Paramatma also he can meditate. Yeah. Okay.
So, Prabhuji, that means like since this yogi has some kind of a material contamination,
Yes.
and because of that, to get himself purified from that, he sees those material objects to be existing in the Virat.
Yes.
Is how he makes a connection to them, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So
Now we
once,
have the illusion that these are permanent and these are all individual. If you see objects, then you will be having attachment. When you see the reality, then that illusion will be gone.
so that means the manifestation, for example, a yogi is attached to a woman. So he
Yes.
sees the form of the woman to be also part of the Virat.
Yes. Yes. And also all
he-
the material planets also there are, the pleasure is out of matter. Everything is out of matter.
So
So which is
and
made up of the, yeah.
and that matter is connected to the Virat. That's how he will see the connection.
Yes.
And then that Virat is also
Having the
connected.
Paramatma.
The soul of that Virat is the Paramatma.
Yes.
And so there, that's how the actual purification happens when he realizes that Paramatma connection, correct?
Yeah. So that means he sees the everything is out of this Virat, and even in that Virat also there is a real one is there, that is Paramatma. Then finished his attachment. So then after that he can meditate on his heart also, in Paramatma in his heart also. So that is also possible. So like this, the Paramatma in the heart, how he is explained here. This lotus has 8 petals and is situated on an erect lotus stalk. So one should meditate on the sun, moon, and fire, placing them one after another within the whole of the lotus flower. Placing my transcendental form within the fire, one should meditate upon it as the auspicious goal of all meditation. That form is perfectly proportioned, gentle, and cheerful. So all these Lord's different, the Lord's form is explained, how he is decorated with the so various. That means that Paramatma, how he is beautiful, how much. So that is explained here. It possesses 4 beautiful long arms, a charming, beautiful neck, a handsome forehead, a pure smile, and glowing, shark-shaped so earrings suspended from 2 identical ears. That means his earrings are very beautiful. And the spiritual form is the color of a dark rain cloud. So his color is so dark rain cloud, Nila Megasyama. And also having the Srivatsa. And there goddess fortune is there on his Vakshasthala. And that form is also decorated with the conchal disc. And he is having the conchal disc and lotus flower and garland. Vaijayanti Mala. The 2 brilliant lotus feet are, that means in everyone's heart such a Paramatma is there. You cannot see from the outside. You are trying to see, but you can purify your heart, then only you can see. Yes. Why he is doing this? There is no love for him, for the Paramatma. Just what is main his target? He wants to liberate himself from material objects. This is the goal. We have already discussed this. That means the interest behind this is how to get the liberation. That is the thing. Yeah, the form is only for meant for the is object for meditation. That's all. He may get, so it is just an object for meditation. He may get attraction for that, but he will suppress that attraction forcefully, because his goal is only detachment, not getting attachment for someone. It's a very different concept. So the chest of that, and further it is discussed. So how his various forms are various. That means how he is beautiful. So his hips are beautified by golden belt, and the arms are decorated with the valuable bracelets. All of the limbs of that beautiful form capture the heart, and the face is beautified by merciful glance. That means he is having such a glance, merciful glance. He is seeing so mercifully. Okay, like this. Next, tat sarva vyapakam chittam akrushyaikatra dharayet nanyani chintayet bhuyas susmitam bhavayen mukham.
One should then pull the consciousness back from all the limbs of the transcendental body. At that time, one should meditate only on the wonderfully smiling face of the Lord.
Yeah. Now he is first meditating on the total body. Now one should then pull the consciousness back from all the limbs of that transcendental body to where? Face. Face. That means meditating on all is known as, even smaranam is also having the 5 different techniques. Smaranam, dharana, so dhyanam, dhruvanusmriti, samadhi. That means once our meditation started, it itself having the different 5 process. Like you in this our case, dharana is there, dhyana and samadhi is there. There is one more step is there. So before dharana, so dhyanam is there, smaranam is there. The smaranam, after that dharana, after that dhyana, then after that dhruvanusmriti, then samadhi. That internal steps. You may consider this. So now what happened? From meditation on the all the limbs he left, and he is meditating on the only face. Tatra labda padam chittam akrushyam nidharayet tatcha tyaktva madarahona kinchidapi chintay.
Being established in meditation on the Lord's face, one should then withdraw the consciousness and fix it in the sky. Then, giving up such meditation, one should become established in me and give up the process of meditation altogether.
Being established in meditation of the Lord's face, one should then withdraw the consciousness and fix it in the sky. Then, giving up such meditation, one should become established in me and give up the process of meditation altogether. Okay? So there is no love, nothing. So then he has meditated on the sky. Withdraw the consciousness and fix it in the sky, empty space. Then giving up such meditation, one should become established in me. So purport, as one becomes established in a pure consciousness, the duality of I am meditating on this object of my meditation vanishes, and one comes to the stage of spontaneous relationship with the. So every living entity is originally part and parcel of Subhanayan. So Acharyas, what the commentary they give? 1 second, 44. Any points from the commentary? Daharakash. In the inside there is a space is there. Lord is there, and also here space means what? In the heart there is a Lord is there, and also some space is also there. Dahara Akash we say. On that he should meditate. So it is there in the Upanishad. Dahara Vidya. Dahara Vidya. If you want to learn this, come to the Essentials of Vedanta Sutras. Ramakrishna Prabhu, you are not coming for classes?
From today onwards, I'll be there, sir. Last weeks I had some other engagements, Prabhu. I could not make it.
मुझे लगता है मैं सोचा कि आप छोड़ दिए. I thought.
No, Prabhu. I will complete it.
Yes. Okay. Vyomni means sarva karana rupe tacha karanatvamupi tyaktva madaroho mayi suddhe brahmanyarudha san kinchid dhyatrudhyaya vibhagamapi na chintai. Then first he is meditating on the Dhaharakash, that means space. Then after that, Tacha Tektva, he will leave that also. First, till now he is meditating on the Paramatma. From Paramatma, and he is shifting his meditation on the sky, that means space. Now, sky, that means Dhaharakash. Sky is written because in the heart there is empty space is there. That is known as Dhaharakash. On that he will be meditating, and that also he will leave. And then what? Madaroho na kinchidapi chintayet. So Madaroho na kinchidapi chintayet. Madaroho means having ascended to me. Me means here who? Brahman. That means Madaroho means what Sridhar Swami is saying? Brahmanyarudaha. That means he is entering into Brahman. From there to Brahman. Here Madaroha means entering into Brahman. Brahman is also Lord only, na? That's right. Then what will happen? There is no oneness. Brahman, entering into Brahman means oneness. There is no Dhyatru, Dheya, Vibhagam, na kinchit. There is no finish. There is no difference between the meditator and meditatable object. Okay. Swamiji gave, this is from Akash to, yeah, meditate on the Brahman. Om Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi Brahmagno Brahmanahudam Brahmaiva Gantavyam Karma Samadhina Brahmaiva Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. So ultimately one should reach to the Brahman and merge into the Brahman. Om Shanti. This Mataji seriously thinking what?
Prabhuji, he
Huh?
wants to get liberation.
Yes.
That means he Sayuj Mukti only.
Yes. Either he can enter into the body, he may just meditating on the Paramatma and he may go and enter into the Paramatma also. That is one kind of technique is there. And he may come to Dharakasha and after that meditating on the Brahman and enter into that. That also is possible. Many in the yoga also many targets are there. Many destinations. There are many destinations. It's a big science. That's why before reading the Bhagavatam, one should read the Nyaya, so Vaisheshika, so Sankhya, Ashtanga Yoga, Purvamimamsa, and Uttaramimamsa, Vedanta. Then you will understand everything in detail. Yeah. So all these are necessary to give a Bhagavatam class. If one wants to give Bhagavatam class, he should be expert in 6 darshanas. So Mameva Brahma Atmani Jivatmani Vichiste Atmanam cha Swatmani. Okay, same thing is given by the hour. Brahma Jivayoho Aprakruta Swiya Purna Jyotir Jyotihi Kanatvam Gnapitam. Okay, next 49. Evam Samahitamatir Mame Vatmanamatmani Vichaste Mai Sarvatman Jyotir Jyotishi Samyutam.
One who has completely fixed his mind on me should see me within his own soul, should see the individual soul within me, the Supreme Person of Godhead. Thus he sees the individual soul united with the Supreme Soul, just as one sees the sun rays completely united with the sun.
Yeah. Kintu dhyanamayi bhavet ityaha. That means evam iti. So samahita mani samadhi yukta matir yasya saha mameva brahma atmani jivatmani vichiste atmanam cha sarvatmani mayi samyutam vichiste jyotir jyotishi samyutam iti brahma jivayoho aprakruta sviya purna jyotir jyotihi kanatvam jnapitam. So finally what? So one who has completely fixed his mind on me, so should see me within his own soul and should see the individual soul within me. That means he has to see now everything is in the Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus he sees the individual soul united with the Supreme Soul. Just as one sees the sun rays completely united with the sun. So now he is seeing everything is inside the Brahman. Like Jyotir, Jyotishi. Like the sun rays are in sun. So, हो गया अभी. ध्यानेनोत्तम सुतीव्रेण युञ्जतो योगिनो मनः संयास्त्यत्याशु निर्वाणं द्रव्यज्ञानक्रिया ब्रह्म. When the yogi does control his mind by intensely concentrated meditation, his illusory identification with the material objects, knowledge and activities is very quickly extinguished. Then once that means merging into this Brahman, his conscious, he went into samadhi of Brahman. Then what happened? Yunjitaha, that means samadataha, that means who merged into the Brahman, who is in the samadhi. So dravya gnana kriyashu means adibhuta adideva adhyatmasu brahmaha adhyasarupaha nirvanam shantim samyak yati yasyati. Then now these material objects are not at all affecting him. Even in the case of Gnani, we have seen how Gnani is living his, that means how he is cutting his ahankara. You remember how to cut the ahankara? So that means for that he needs the sword. He need to make a sword of knowledge. So for that he is using the logic and association of Guru and next Shrutis, Upanishads. So by using these three, he is building one sword. This sword is what? Brahman is one, ekam, Brahma ekam, and Urdha iva bhati. That means it is appearing as many. So because of Maya. Yes, because of Maya, this Brahman only is appearing as many. So like that, he will understand from this kind of sword he will make by logic, association of Guru and Upanishads. Then with this knowledge, so this kind of knowledge, he is cutting his ahankara. Then what will happen? So soul is separated and sense objects entering into the mind and mind entering into the sense objects will be finished. This is the process of Gnana. And in this process, so he is now in the samadhi of Brahman. Yes, he is conscious. He went into samadhi. Then what? Then in that case, all these adhyatma, adidaivam, adibhutam, that means all these gross elements, adhyatma, adidaivam, adibhutam elements, that means senses, sense controlling deities, and this the one which is separating the body. All these adhyatma, adidaivam, adibhutam means, so adhyatma means senses, adidaivam means sense controlling deities, adibhutam means the one which is separating the sense and sense controlling deities. That is nothing but deha. So all these are now what? Brahmaha. That means dravya gnana kriyasu adibhuta adidaiva adhyatmasu Brahmaha. That means he will not get any Brahma now. Everywhere, that means his consciousness now is merged into the Brahman. He will not get any illusion, Brahma, because of these objects. And he is getting the completely, so he is always in that Shashvat Shanti. Nirvana means complete Shanti he is getting. Okay. When the yogi thus control his mind by intensely concentrated meditation, his illusory identification with material objects, knowledge, and activities is very quickly extinguished. Okay, thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 11th canto, 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Lord Krishna explains the yoga system to Sri Uddhava. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta class, extra class on Saturday. कल पूरा कर देंगे पर कल tomorrow also you come, we'll do the 15. Okay, tomorrow? Yes, one chapter will
I'm
finish.
ready tomorrow also. Ramkrishna Prabhu, are you ready tomorrow?
Yes, Prabhu, no problem.
Haribol!
36 slokas are there. 36. Description of mystic yoga perfection. ये तो योगा सिस्टम है, तो ऐसा ही हो जाएगा. अणिमा लगिमा महिमा. Huh? Yes, which one? 16. 16 also finish कर देंगे, उसमें क्या है? 2 chapter will finish. Then Varnashram system will come in 17th chapter. Okay. I have to make question paper na tomorrow. अच्छा. कर देंगे बस. Tomorrow 2 chapters will finish. 15 and 16.
Yes, Prabhuji, at your service.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranam.
Happy Ugadi Mataji. Please take the Uga chutney on behalf of everyone.
Okay, Prabhuji.
And offer to the Lord and take.
నేను చేశాను, ఇంకా అవ్వలేదు, తీసుకోవడం అవ్వలేదు ప్రభుజీ, ఇప్పుడు తీసుకుంటాను.
అచ్చా అచ్చా, ఇప్పుడు చేయండి, కంటిన్యూ చేయండి.
ఇప్పుడు మిగిలింది ఇప్పుడు చేస్తాను, వదిలిపెట్టి వచ్చాను.
అచ్చా, మీ డెడికేషన్ గ్రేట్ మాతాజీ.
ఏం లేదు ప్రభుజీ, నాకు కొంచెం వీక్నెస్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంటున్న వలన స్లోగా చేస్తున్నాను, అందుకు ఇంత టైం పడుతుంది.
అచ్చా మాతాజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ. దండవత్ ప్రణామం శ్రీ ప్రభుపాద్కి జై.